Welcome, and thank you for having interest in the work we do here at Ohio State University. This Farm Bill webinar, like other webinars that we have done, will cover one portion of the 2018 Farm Bill and the decisions ahead for agriculture producers and owners. This webinar in particular will cover the decision between the Agriculture Risk Coverage Program, the county-based option, and the Price Loss Coverage Program. Two options that were available in the 2014 Farm Bill and are available again in the 2018 Farm Bill. But a decision has to be made by producers as only one program can be selected per commodity. Now you can select a different program for soybeans than you do corn, but at least between Ark County and then PLC, a decision has to be made, or you revert back to your previous Farm Bill decision, the one that you made in the 2014 Farm Bill, and you lose your payment for the 2019 program year. So it's important that you make a decision, and our goal here at Ohio State University is to live out the land grant mission and help give you information and tools to make the best decision possible. So let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, this is our Farm Bill webpage, where you can find information about all the programs, including the dairy program, the agriculture risk coverage program, the individual option and the county option, and the price loss coverage program. We've got webinars available to you. We've got a frequently asked questions page. We have our webinars and videos from the Farm Bill Summit held in April. And we have a list of county meetings where we'll be going around the state. Some of our county educators will be hosting meetings to help give you more information about the tools that you're going to see here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and select on this Ark County and PLC Decision Tool tab. And the first thing you see here is our logo. This is the tool that was built here at Ohio State University, and we hope that it is useful to you. However, if you would like any additional information, or you feel like a different tool might be better for you, some of our partner institutions, the FarmDoc team at the University of Illinois, for instance, has developed an online tool for your use. Kansas State University and Oklahoma State University have developed a tool as well. And then the Agriculture and Food Policy Center at Texas A&M, and then the Food and Agriculture Policy Research Institute at the University of Missouri have also built a tool. And you can access their tools by just clicking on the image here. And it'll give you their tools, maybe with some additional information that you need or would like. And so you can click on those tabs as well. If you get answers that are different from those in our tool, or if some of these tools give you different options or different answers than what you see from others, it's largely due to the assumptions that are embedded in the tools themselves. We do not know if any specific one is better than the others. We assume that they're all equally as good. But that is the reason why you might get different answers, is that there are different assumptions embedded in the different tools. We're going to show you our tool developed here at Ohio State for your use. And so if you click on the logo, Ohio State University, it'll pull up an Excel-based spreadsheet. So you'll click download in the bottom left-hand corner, and it should pull up our Excel tool. The very first thing that you need to do is that you need to enable content. This allows the formulas and the calculations within the tool to operate properly, so we encourage you to hit enable content. And then you're going to click here to begin. It'll bring you to our landing page, our directions page, if you will. The very first thing at the top talks about our legal disclaimer. This yellow box right here just says that this is an informational tool developed by Ohio State University, and the final decision is made by the producer or the owner. Those are the people that are authorized to make decisions. Ohio State University cannot make a decision on your behalf, and so we have just provided educational tools for you, and you'll have to make your decision and go in and meet with your Farm Service Agency individually with this information, or information that you deem more credible. We've already discussed in a previous webinar the PLC yield update, and we encourage you to watch that if you still have more information about it. But this tool is going to cover the Ark County and PLC tools that we have developed to help make a decision, to help you make a decision. If you have questions about how any of this tool works, we encourage you to click on these tabs right here. For instance, if you have information about how the charts look and what they're telling you, you can click here, this Understanding Charts tab, and it takes you down here to where we've walked you through and given examples of what each chart tells you and is representative in the pages to follow. So we're going to click back to the top, and we're going to go ahead and get started. If we click here on this Click the Corn Decision Tool tab, and I'm just going to start with corn for no particular reason other than corn just comes first in the alphabet. The very first thing you're going to need to do is select your state, your county, and then your practice. Now we're just going to keep it here at the default option of Ohio. I've already designed this to where the default option falls to Ohio. We're going to hit reset just to make sure everything clears, and you'll notice that the default option goes to Allen County. So Allen County is our default county. And then it's going to ask us what practice we would like. Now, practice is based on irrigated or non-irrigated. And for Ohio, there are only 4 counties where irrigated is an option. You can click here over the select practices. If you click it twice, it comes up with that error message. But if you click select practices, it tells you that Champaign, Pickaway, Ross, and Williams are the only 4 counties where there are enough irrigated acres of corn to justify a separate program. So we're going to keep it at non-irrigated for this program, for this example. You'll notice that the next box says FSA Farm PLC yield. What we've done here is we've just pulled through the county average. So this is the average of all PLC yields on file at the county FSA office. As a producer, you can go through and put in your own PLC yield if you'd like. So we're just going to go put 140. We're going to say that we had a higher PLC yield than the county average. Again, if you need to look and see if you can update your PLC yield, you can use the PLC update button up here at the top, and that'll take you to the PLC page. But we're going to use 140 as our farm PLC yield. And then the next thing that we have to decide is what do we think our 2019 county corn yield averages are. Now, it's important to notice that I said county and not individual, because our county is a county-based program, just like the name signifies. And so it is based on the yields within your county. This is where it might be important to talk to some of your neighbors, listen to the discussions had uptown at different events around the community, and see what everybody else's yields are coming in. If you repeatedly hear people say that their yields are coming in 10% below normal, you can make that adjustment in here. And so you just select a 10% yield decrease as we've selected, and that comes up. Now we've got other options here, all the way down to a 40% yield decrease, or up to a positive 20% yield increase. We're just going to put a negative 10% yield decrease in here, just from the standpoint of I want to show you kind of what happens when we make different assumptions. You can also play with what ifs, and we'll come back to this what if scenario here in just a second, but for right now, let's just stick with 2019. The next thing that I want to show you is down here in this mathematical section. This is a lot of numbers and it can be overwhelming, but if you have any question about what any line of this signifies, you can click on the box and it'll come up with a description about what each line of this table is doing and where the numbers are coming from. So for instance, I'm going to click on market average price right here, and this tells us that the market average prices are associated with a respective commodity for the full year. And for corn and soybeans, that marketing year runs September 1st through August 31st. So we just finished the 2018 marketing year back in September, the 1st of September, and we're now in the 2019-2020 marketing year. Okay, and so what we've done here is we've pulled through all the prices. These are already known. All of these prices right here, from all the way from 29 to 2018, we already know those marketing year prices. You'll notice here on the back end, I've got things in red, this 2019 average price and this 2020 average price. Now these are based on our estimates of what marketing year average prices could look like for the 2019-2020 marketing year and the 2020 and 2021 marketing year. If you feel that we're wrong, or that you feel that you have better information to make a better decision, we encourage you to put that in. So for instance, instead of 359, maybe I think the national marketing year price is going to be 365. You can plug that in, and it's going to adjust the maps and graphs on the right hand accordingly. Okay, but more so, the numbers here signify what all these calculations represent. These are all useful calculations to you, and the fact that if you need to provide information to your county FSA office, you can take these numbers in and provide that information to them. But we're just going to go ahead and click reset for just a second. So we're going to reset everything and go back to where we were. So again, Ohio, Allen County, non-irrigated. We're going to put 140 in here again for our PLC yield. I'm going to put a 10% decrease, and then I'm going to keep my prices the same. I'm going to say that I think a 359 marketing year price for corn in 2019 and 2020 sounds reasonable. Now that could change throughout the year, but at least right now we're just going to keep that. We're going to keep that where it's at. The rest of the spreadsheet does the calculations for you. And what you see over here, and I'm going to move this video box over just for a second. What you see over here in this graph, where my cursor is these gray bars represent the estimated PLC payment that we can expect. And I'm going to enlarge this real quick. So the gray bars are our PLC payment that we can expect from the program. And this is again, this decision that producers will make this year is for a 2-year program, 2019 and 2020. So we've got both years listed here. We've got 2019 and 2020. The gray bars recognize the PLC program. The red bars recognize and project the estimates that we have for the Agriculture Risk County program. And so as you can see that in 2019, PLC is estimated at our current estimates to provide more than the Ark County program, as well again in 2020. In fact, the Ark County program is not even projected to, or estimated to make any payments in 2020, okay? Now, since this is a 2-year decision, you're not gonna get to remake a decision in 2020. Let's say that the Ark County program had a higher estimated return in 2020, you don't get to go back and make a separate decision in 2020. So what we have done is if you scroll down, and we're going to start with these charts here on the left. This first column of charts over here, and again, I need to move my video, I'm sorry. These first charts over here on the left, these show our historical performance of Ark County in the previous Farm Bill. So this is the 2014 Farm Bill, and you see here that for Allen County, the Agriculture Risk Coverage Program made payments, those red bars, in the first 3 years, whereas the PLC program, represented by the gray bars, only made payments in the back 4 years. And if we average those over 5 years, we see that the Ark County program returned us on average $43 per year, and the PLC program returned us $24 per year. Now again, Ark County wasn't triggered in all 5 years, just the same as PLC wasn't triggered in all 5 years. But because this was a 5-year decision, we have evidence that most producers made their decision based on this calculation right here, this estimate over multiple years. We've done the same thing for the 2018 Farm Bill. You'll see this graph right here, the next one. This is the same graph I showed you above. It shows you what our estimated PLC payments are annually for both 19 and 20, and it shows you what our estimated Ark County payments are for 19 and 20. And then we average those over 2 years because this is a 2-year decision, and you see that for the 2 years, the Ark County program is expected to return us $4 per acre per year. Now again, remember that that was $8 in the first year and nothing in the back year, and so that gets us $4 a year. But the PLC program is estimated to give us $29 a year, okay? But I want to show you something real quick. If we go up here and we say that instead of a 10% decrease in 2019, we have a 20% yield decrease in 2019, and then let's just say, hypothetically, we have a 10% yield decrease in 2020. So this is, again, against normal yields. You come down here, you see the split, 2019 and 2020, and where the payments are expected each year. But now, instead of the 2-year payment being heavily favored toward PLC, we now see a heavy estimate for Ark County. And this is based on that yield component of the calculations. If you have any questions about the calculations and how they're made, we encourage you to visit the Directions tab, where it gives information about the programs. But we've also laid the charts out here on the right. So if you scroll over just a tad, and again, I'm going to move my video. What we've got here is, this is, again, the left is the historical Farm Bill. So this was the 2014 Farm Bill and the decisions made by producers. And then we have the estimates here for the 2018 Farm Bill, and the 2 years represented here by these patterned graphs, these patterned cells. And you'll notice that a payment is triggered for the different programs when the red line falls below the black line. So for the Agriculture Risk Coverage Program, when the red bars fall below the black bars, it triggers a payment. And then with the PLC, when the red line, the market average price for the years, falls below the black line, it triggers a payment as well. And the magnitudes of these difference is where we get these bars right here, these payment rates. And so as you can see, that it doesn't take much of a yield drop in 2019 or 2020 to actually generate higher Ark County payments than PLC. However, if we have good yields and price drops, so let's just say now instead we've got a yield increase, let's say we've got a yield increase in 2020. We can play with that what if scenario. So let's say we're 15% above average, but our market price goes down even more. So let's say now we're at 320. You can see what happens over here in our shaded graphs. The Ark County program goes away in 2020, but the PLC program is expected to make big payments in 2020 under our scenario that we just laid out. And if we go down and we look at the two-year decision, we see that PLC is back to being favored compared to Ark County, given the assumptions that we have. So these are just what if scenarios. I encourage producers to think about what they can tolerate in terms of risk. Are you interested in protecting against low prices, or are you interested in protecting against low revenue? The answer to that question, and how relative are your yields, so how close do your yields follow the county yields, and how close does your county yields follow national yields? Those questions and answers to those questions will be important in deciding between the ARC County, or the Agriculture Risk Counties Program, and the Price Loss Coverage Program. Again, you can hit reset, go back to our default options, and play around with county scenarios based on what you think could potentially happen. And we encourage you that if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our contact information can be found on the web page that I showed you earlier. Again, that web page is go.osu.edu/Farm Bill 2019, or you can simply just do a Google search for Farm Bill Ohio State University, and we should come up. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I look forward to seeing you around the state of Ohio soon. Thank you and have a great day.